Welcome, everyone, to Thursday night's improv show. We are Chaotic Good Improv, and we're here to improvise for you. I normally would say it's a short form improv show, and that's typically we do comedy one shots is the name of that show. But tonight it's me and Ty. We've done a two-person show before. I mean, we've got Chad here. Chad's gonna be helping us out and doing some games with us. But for the most part, our official cast is just two of us, so we don't know what we're doing. We're gonna be making up a lot of stuff here tonight, and probably even making up some new games. We don't even know. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be good times. So what we're going with this? Let me introduce everyone. My name is Chris.
Hey, Chris. Woo!
Yeah, and we have Ty.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah. All right. Then we're gonna be improvising a bunch of stuff. Tonight's show is gonna be completely made up. It's never going to exist ever again. This is the only time it's ever going to be there. And because it's improv, we're going to be needing a lot of suggestions from you guys at home. Lots of suggestions. Because we're even looking for suggestions for you guys that are there. We'll be repeating this throughout the show for people who may be logging in after. But what are your favorite games that we do? We'd love to do them. Just let us know what the game is. Ty and I will go ahead and do it. We've got a couple planned and prepared that we're going to be doing game-wise, but if there's something you like, type it into the chat, because Chad is going to be monitoring that chat, as well as he'll be monitoring all of the suggestions that we get from you guys throughout the show. And he'll be letting us know what those are, because Ty and I are just staring at each other's eyeballs in Zoom. So we're not paying attention to the chat. Ty, do you have anything you want to add to that intro?
I would just say, you can just type in names of games that we've never done before. I mean,
we'll make it up.
We'll just make it up. So if you like, I mean, obviously we have our classics that we like to do, and hopefully you guys like watching. But even if you're just like, whatever, I thought of this game the other day and it'd be super fun, just type it in there. Or even if you're just like, hey, here's something that might be weird to do, type it in there. Who cares?
You guys need to play that short form improv game, Kalamazoo Wet Whistle. I just want to throw that out there. It's a good one. It's good.
Yep.
So speaking of which, speaking of wet whistles that you got in Kalamazoo, I'm going to turn it over to our tech guru guy, our wizard here, Chad, for any pre-show announcements and maybe anything he just wants to get off his chest.
Before we start, I need to mention that my lawyer has advised me to not speak about the Kalamazoo wet whistle incident. That is still pending a court date, so I can't comment on it at the time, but it was amazing. Anyway, that's all you'll hear about it. Anyway, as Chris said, thank you so much for being here tonight. We are so happy to have you with us. We do have the best audience in the world, sincerely. And we don't say that lightly because, you guys have proven that time and time again. And now here's your chance to go ahead and get more people involved. So before we even start tonight, go ahead and just send an invite to your friends saying, hey, I'm watching weird people make up stuff online. It's a lot more fun than it sounds. Check it out. And they will be very surprised, definitely. But no, seriously, invite folks, share the link, subscribe, smash that like button, as the kids are saying these days. And
smash that like button.
That's what. What can I say? I am in tune with Gen Z. I am groovy. Okay, I am so groovy right now.
Smash it.
Yeah, this is tubular up in here. Anyway, but check us out. Go ahead and share all the social medias as well. And go ahead and follow us on Twitch if you would like as well. If you're watching on Twitch, welcome. And we have people who watch us on Twitch all the time and feel the need to throw a few coins our way, which we really do appreciate. So if you would like to count yourself among those ranks, feel free to support this channel with Twitch subscriptions, Twitch Prime subscriptions, which come along with your Amazon Prime account. Wink, wink, no extra cost. And also Bit Cheers as well. You can find the instructions for that throughout Twitch and on the little buttons and gadgets and gizmos that you have throughout the chat. Also, if you would like to support us and get a little something in return, check out our merch store. We have a website, a very good one too, chaoticgoodimprov.com, where you can check out our store. We have things you can wear, things you can drink out of, things you can frame in your house if you wish.
Things you can do both. You can wear and drink out of.
Exactly. I actually drank out of a baby onesie the other day. It was very difficult, but
I'm glad you didn't end that with just baby, because that would have been weird.
Yeah. My lawyer has advised anyway. So
that was the Kalamazoo wet whistle.
So I was thinking that same thing.
I've said too much. Anyway, so with that being said, check out our merch store, chaoticgoodimprov.com. Check out our store, and we would be very happy for you to do that. And also, one last thing: if you're watching tonight, as Chris said, this show is completely made up on the spot. We don't have anything planned, and we barely have like the games we're playing tonight planned. So please, as he said, keep suggesting your favorite game you want to see, and we might be able to work it into the schedule tonight. But
any game you want.
But at any
Doesn't
point,
really matter.
if you hear our actors say something uproariously funny, or if you hear a common theme happening throughout the evening, go ahead and put that into the chat, usually in quotes. I will be Chaotic Good Improv in the chat across the board. I'll be watching on Facebook, YouTube, what have you. Let me know what you think would be a good title of this particular episode. This episode will live on in our archives on YouTube and for a limited time on Twitch. It needs a name because we spend a lot of time birthing it. So go ahead and give us a name, and we will deliberate at the end the list of our favorite names, and the winner will get kudos and recognition and all sorts of good stuff. All right, so with all that being said, I think it's time to start the funny. Chris, let me turn it back over to you and see what we got.
Yeah, so thank you, Chad. Like Chad had said earlier, if throughout the show, and we'll be reminding you guys throughout, pretty much in between games, not during a scene, but in between scenes. If you've seen our show before, there's any particular game that you'd like and you wanted to see us do this show, since there's only two of us, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do what we do not care.
Doesn't matter.
We'll go ahead and do that game. But we are going to start this show off with a game called Change. It's a staple. We like to do this game. I guess I could have let Chad intro this, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll intro it. Then,
should.
yeah, go for it. Why don't you intro this game, Chad?
All right. So this is a game called Change, and what this is, it's a game for 4 players. Okay, I messed it up already. No, it's a game for 2 of our actors, Chris and Ty. And what we're going to need is a suggestion from you, the audience. I'll tell you what, to start out with, we'll make it really simple. Let's get a non-geographic location, okay? So not something that you would see on a Rand McNally's Atlas. God, I'm showing my age tonight. Or on a Google Map search. See, that's a thing. That's new. Not like the name of a geographic location, but like the name of a non-geographic location, like a man-made thing or something. You'll figure it out. You're smart. Go ahead and put that into the chat, and we'll use that as a suggestion for our 2 actors. They will make a scene up, and at any point, I can make them say change the last thing they said or did by saying the word change. I can also make them say things too, but
he can. You can do whatever you want. This is true chaotic good improv tonight. We don't even know what's happening.
Right now it's just chaotic improv. We haven't figured out if it's good yet.
I can press a button and sounds will play. I mean, I've got that power. But no, I can make them change the last thing they said or did just by simply saying the name change. So if you have a suggestion, go ahead and put it in the chat, and don't be shy, because we need all the suggestions we can get tonight, guys. So...
Christian's froze.
Oh no!
All right, so I'm gonna be doing change by myself tonight, everyone.
Exactly.
So, all right. So, yeah, there he goes. All right, he's gone. He's gone.
And so this is a look behind the scenes at Chaotic Good Improv. This is how things look when things mess up.
Hey, there he is. There he is.
I'm back. What was it? Did my face look weird?
Yeah.
You kind of look like my dad. Not mad, but disappointed.
I knew that rain was going to get my internet, so I put on a hotspot. So we're good.
Oh
we're good.
man, this is great. This is great.
All right, so for those of you joining us, and that would just be Chris at this point, yeah, we're about to play. We're about to play the game of change, and let me go ahead and check around. Okay, Twitch chat is being quiet tonight. You guys need to step up. You're usually the loudest, but that's cool. Let me check the other chats real quick. Okay, we have a suggestion for, ironically enough, theater.
Theater.
So this is change for Chris and Ty with a suggestion of theater in 3, 2, and 1.
I just don't think I'm feeling it. I don't think your performance is what you usually do. I think you're missing something.
Well, Pierre, I just,
Yes.
it's nervous. Performing in
Right,
front
right,
of someone as famous as you. I mean, you are the premier
Right.
director. I just,
Cool.
can you be more specific about what's missing? I mean, was it something I was
Yes.
saying? Was it just the depth? I mean, I felt like I gave it my all.
Right, Frederick, I think what was missing was skill.
Change.
I think what was missing was emotion.
Change.
Frederick, your actions were missing. You stood on the spot. You delivered your lines. They were powerful, but you just stood there. You didn't have any physical emotion to convey, right? Convey with your physicalities, Frederick.
I understand, Pierre. I understand. I just, I was trying to just let the words do the speaking for me without me having to twiddle my fingers or flap my elbows or just do anything distracting. I wanted the verbiage to come through for you. I wanted just almost as if the lyrics to just exude from my mouth hole and just enter your ears.
Right. Right, Frederick, the problem is you're playing an ostrich, and an ostrich has to flap its elbows if it's going to look like wings. If you don't flap your elbows and twiddle your fingers, then no one's going to believe you're an ostrich.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're going to have to believe I'm an ostrich with fingers in the end of my wings. I mean, that's just something that we're going to have to do too. When you brought Zootopia to Broadway, I was really excited to be a part of it.
Well, of course.
And it's almost as if Ernie the Ostrich was written for me.
Change.
It's almost as if Elmer the Ostrich was written for me.
Yes.
Change.
It's almost as if I could do this as a one-man show. And that's kind of what I wanted to convey to you. I just wanted to be able to speak it without doing any animalistic physicalities so you could see that I have that power in me.
This is what I wanted, Frederick. This is what I wanted. I put this whole thing up. None of this is real. All these people that you've been acting with, they're paid actors. I've paid them to act like they're acting, Frederick. This is all to get your confidence up because this was meant to be a one-man ostrich show. And I wanted you to be the lead. And this is what I needed to get to this point. This is why I'm the best director in the world.
Change.
This is why I'm the second best director in the world.
Change.
This is why I'm the best director this side of the Mississippi River.
Yeah. I was glad that you moved to this side of the Mississippi River because beforehand you were killing it on the other side, and I was just, gosh, I'm afraid of crossing running water, so I didn't want to be able to go to that other side of the Mississippi. So I'm just thankful.
I left my home for you, Frederick. This is my new home with you. I'm living with you now in the soul of the one-man ostrich play.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I mean, you haven't paid any rent yet.
Change.
And I don't mind you kind of have taken over all the space and all my drawers. When do I have to sleep outside my own house during this audition process?
Frederick, this is all a part of the plan. All right. If you sleep indoors, can you really understand the plight of the ostrich?
It's true. That's your brilliance. It astounds me.
Yes.
Again, Pierre. I'm fine. I'll do it. I just, if you could just not lock me out in the middle of the night. Sometimes when it rains, it gets really wet, and I don't have any. Sometimes, during the fires we have here, I like to get indoors.
Change.
My dogs haven't been fed in a while, and they're looking at me like I look delicious. And so, can I at least get some kibbles to give to them? Because they're looking at me like they would look at it like a dingo would look at an ostrich if there were ostriches and ostriches where dingoes are.
That's Frederick. See, you're on the same page as me. This is exactly the point. I wanted your dogs to starve so they would hunt you down to try to eat you, just like an ostrich would be hunted down by a lion or a dingo or whatever. I don't know.
Much better. Lions was a better choice. That was a better choice.
This is why I'm the director, Frederick.
I know. Your brilliance is Pierre. It's astounding still.
And scene. For our Australian viewers, which I know we actually have, dingoes are there. So, fun fact.
Yeah. Oh man, it is what it is.
That's fun.
How was my? Was I choppy at all, or did I sound okay?
Your audio's not choppy.
Okay, is my video choppy?
A little bit, yeah, but it's okay.
Damn it. It's my hotspot. Hopefully that'll get fixed.
His video's just like a slightly laggy sometimes. His switch is great. It kind of makes you look like a ventriloquist doll.
We are actually taking like pictures of Chris every once in a while, and we're just kind of playing them in fast motion like a ViewMaster or something. Yeah. So there's that.
Damn it. All right. Well, I'm back to my internet, so hopefully this is better. Is it better now? Is it working?
It really is.
What?
We can hear you. That's all that matters.
That is true.
I mean, what are we doing? We're sitting here. We're literally sitting on chairs and doing improv.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we could be doing a podcast at that point. At this point,
well, everyone just turn their phones off and just listen.
After what we've been doing, I'm pretty sure they all have. So,
all
right.
Do we have a suggestion for another game?
I don't think we have any suggestions for anything yet.
No suggestions for games yet, but as we said, tonight is basically, hey, audience is running this chaos. So go ahead and put your favorite suggestion is for your favorite short form improv game into the chat. I tell you what, though, one that I actually happen to be a fan of is, and one that I think, that folks would like to see is Old Job, New Job. How about that?
That
works for me.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, okay. So what we're going to need for that, folks, is suggestions for occupations, and make them as diverse as possible. You know, give me something that, of course, give me actual occupations, things that people would do for money, and also, just make them as different from each other as you can, because what's going to happen is we're going to play a little game where one of our two actors, and who would like to be employed?
I think we're figuring that out right now.
Yeah, I guess I'll do it.
Cool.
I'll do it.
Cool.
So we'll get one of our two actors to be employed, and what's going to happen is Chris will actually be he will have a job that is suggested by the chat, and that job will basically be at the tail end of a long career doing something else suggested by the chat. So he had an old job, but now he has a new job, and some of the old habits from the old job are seeping into the new job, and that's what's going to happen. And we'll see how that plays out with Ty in a scene. So as I frantically click around and transition the scene, let me take a look at the chat, see if anyone has any suggestions. Remember, we're looking for occupations. Okay, let's see here. Still looking around. Bear with me.
No worries, Chad. You go ahead and you take your time. We know you're working hard.
Absolutely. Oh, you wouldn't believe how many tabs I am clicking on right now.
I can hear them.
Yeah. I hear them click. Yeah, it's almost like a page turning.
Yeah.
Is it that loud? Interesting. Okay, let's see here.
I just have a microphone in your house, Chad.
You know what? That does not surprise me whatsoever. Okay, let's see here. All right, we have a suggestion for a court reporter.
A court reporter.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone who reports on courts. Yeah. And and a costume mascot.
A costumed mascot. Is there ever a mascot that's not costumed?
It's a good question. I I can't think of one that technically isn't costumed.
I mean,
There's
I think all
unless
of them
it's
are technically costumed.
like a naked guy.
Yeah, but even
I
that
don't
could be a
know.
costume.
Yeah, just actually the players in their uniforms.
Players are the mascots.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
lawyer has advised me not to comment on the time I was a naked mascot. Allegedly.
The
So there's that.
Kalamazoo wet whistle incident.
All right, so
That was a mascot.
what's the old job? What's the new job?
I'm thinking a court reporter that used to be a mascot.
Court reporter that used to be a costumed mascot.
A costume
Okay.
mascot. Okay. That sounds
Okay.
good?
All right.
All right.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good. So this will be old job, new job with Chris and Ty. A court reporter used to be a costumed mascot, the best kind. In 3, 2, and 1.
Yes, District
Yes.
Attorney. I
Yes.
I had a question. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably can't hear me. I always bring this with me. I know it's
Well-
weird. It's an enlarged version of my own head. I just
Right, of course. It helps
it-
me see you, if that makes any difference.
It does. You know, when this is such a big case, and I wanted you to be able to notice me outside of
Right.
all the other reporters. So, well, how do you think the case is going? Understand the prosecution. You guys are doing very well. What do you think the outcome's going to be?
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, we think we're going to have guilty on all counts. That's what I believe we're going to be guilty on all counts. I think that's what is fair. I think that's what is going to be proven in the court of law.
If you don't mind, I'm sorry, my microphone's not working. If you could just speak through this megaphone tube here, just go right into it and
Okay. So, like I was saying, I think that's going to be guilty on all counts. I think that we've created a pretty solid case, and we presented it to the jury, and I think it's going to be beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's guilty on everything.
Okay, good. That's great. You know, I will tell you that I really truly enjoyed what you said in your closing argument.
Yes.
We've got spirit. Yes, we do. We've got spirit. How about you? He is guilty. We feel too. He is guilty. What about you? And I think that's just brilliant. I think that they're all of the jury, after they got done with the wave, they just seemed fantastic. They seemed like they were really on board.
Right. I learned from a very young career, when I was first starting my career, when I was a young DA, I learned that rhyming helps people remember stuff. And so I wanted them to always remember guilty, guilty, guilty. And so I just threw that into that rhyme, and it tends to work. It tends to work.
I do. I was, really, I'm interested in technique. I know that I've never gone to law school. I really enjoy this. I study everything you guys have done. I did notice, we know that the jury, they're being sequestered. I happened to walk by, and they were doing a pyramid in the jurors' room. There were 2 6-person pyramids with the alternate juror on top, the 13th juror. Now, are you worried that the jury may not be strong enough to make the foundation?
Well, I think that I could just put that question right back to you. If you saw a jury create 2 6-person pyramids with a 13th on top, I think that's pretty foundationally sound right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if you saw it with your own eyes,
I
think that's good enough for the court of law. I think that's a witness. That's witness testimony right there.
That is.
That's what they say, in the courtroom. Witness testimony. Yeah.
That's good. Now I do the defense.
Right.
There's the key part. Now they were using their T-shirt cannon.
Right.
And I use that in philosophical T-shirt cannon to sort of to blow the jury away. Not away, but they were blowing T-shirts of evidence into the jury's laps there. How did you respond to that?
Well, it's tough to respond to anything being blown into the laps of our jury.
That's true.
So
That's true.
So we had to me and the other DAs, we're tag teaming this case because this is such an important case. I mean, this is really important, so we had to respond aggressively.
Okay.
And so we thought that it would be best, instead of just overloading them with information, information being fired at them at 100 miles per hour straight to the face, or in your case, the lap, right? We wanted to subtly do it. So we just decided to take a step back, and all of us coordinate together to present a solid fact.
Now, I would like to apologize. I hope I didn't disturb the trial. You may have noticed in the back there was another reporter that was sort of giving me some mocking tones, and we kind of threw down a little bit. I ripped off my mask, he ripped off his, and we were kind of going. It started with just some nice ribbing and jarring as opposing, teams of reports. Right. I hope it didn't ruin anything. Your train of thought.
We enjoy it. We don't see TV reporters as people. We just see them as entertainers.
Good,
and so
I'm happy.
We loved it. We loved it. I don't know if you saw it, but it was actually a bonding moment with us.
Yeah. Well, the judge didn't look too good. He blew his whistle, and I almost was ejected from the court. So I just wanted to make sure that.
But you salvaged the situation well.
I did. Well, thank you.
I really want to see a mascot fight now. Like,
oh man, that was fun.
That was literally the best part of the NCAA football video games, where you could play as the mascot mascots for the teams, and you can play as Stanford, and you're just a bunch of trees going around stabbing people with your tree chunks as you're tackling them. Oh, it's the best thing in the world. Best thing in the world.
Good stuff. All right. So I still don't know. I haven't been looking. If we don't have any suggestions for games that we want to see, we'll just move on to a new one. You want to try a new game, or did we get any suggestions, Chad, in any of the chats of any short games that the audience wants to see?
Oh, everyone's being shy tonight. Oh,
it's all right.
Be shy with us, folks.
No worries. We're just two dudes talking to you over the internet.
Two dudes talking to other dudes. And just as a reminder, maybe if you guys logged in late, if there's any game, if you've seen our show before and there's any games you like or you want to see, let us know. Ty and I are willing to do any of them.
We are here for you.
We're here for you. But until that point, we'll go ahead and try something. We'll try something new. We've never done this before. We literally made it up 5 minutes before the show started.
True.
What we're going to need is it's going to be kind of an interview chat show. Like a daytime chat show in front of a live studio audience. Audiences ask questions, blah, 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 blah. But Ty is going to be our guest. Ty is going to have been famous for something. Mm-hmm. What we need from in the audience as a suggestion is, what is Ty's character famous for? What makes him famous? What did he do? It could be something like he made the second elbow in macaroni, or he was the 14th person to land on the moon. I don't know. It doesn't matter what it is. He could have invented something. He could be famous for something nefarious, infamous. Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. Something that he's done. I will be the show host. I think my name is Chuck. I think that's the name we came up with.
Yeah. It is okay.
Chuck. All right. And so what we'll be doing is I'll be interviewing this Ty's character throughout the show. Also during this, as you're watching, if you in the audience, if you want to type in questions that you might have that you want to ask to Ty's character, feel free to type those into the chat, and Chad will act as the audience throughout and will ask those questions. So you get your questions in there. You actually get to be a part of the scene by asking questions to the actor as part of the live studio audience. So, Chad, do we have a suggestion of what Ty's character, what makes him famous? Like, why is he a famous person?
Okay, so the suggestion for what makes Ty famous is cheese dip.
Cheese dips.
Cheese dip.
Okay.
So something to do with cheese dip is what he is famous for.
Right.
Okay. And all right, and what did we call the name of the show? It's Yakking It Up with Chuck.
Yakking It Up with Chuck.
Yakking It Up with Chuck. All right, okay. So this is the first ever. This is the premiere of Yakking It Up with Chuck. In 3, 2, and 1. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Chuck, and I'm here to yak it up with you guys. We have a very, very special guest here today. His name is Boris, and he has created something that I know everyone at the home audience, or in the live studio audience, and all you guys at home are just going to salivate over. He has a special cheese dip that is it's just going through the nation. Everyone is talking about it. I would just love to introduce Boris, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much for having me on this show. I'm very excited to share my cheese with you.
Oh yes, I love when just Slavic men share me with their cheese. So,
yes.
Boris, Now,
Yes.
there's a lot of cheese dips out there on the market.
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
there's just tons. They come in jars. There's like Velveeta's. There's even cheese dips that come in cans and powdered. You add water, and it's gross. What
Right.
makes your cheese dip, the Boris dip, so much better and different?
Well, you see, the difference with my cheese versus other cheeses is it's a different consistency whenever you buy it. I mean, it's literally in pill form.
Really? So
Yes.
now, granted, my producers, they said they've tried it. I haven't
Yes,
tried it
of course.
myself, so I didn't know that it came in a pill. That's a little
Right.
weird. I'm always worried about swallowing things. So, I get it. My producers in the back, they're signaling to me, it's a pill you drop in water and it becomes cheese.
Yes. It's kind of like, I got the idea when I was sitting in my tub last week. And, well, I'm not sorry, last week. I was in my tub last month. I'm sorry. This cheese is more than a
Yes,
resource.
it's brand new. It's hot on
Yes,
the market.
it is
The
very
FDA
new.
hasn't even approved it yet. That's why
No,
I'm
and I
surprised.
doubt they
Yeah.
will, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I got the idea when I was in my tub last month, and I was playing with those wonderful little, like, small little sponge dinosaur thingies. You know what I'm talking about? Where you drop
yes.
it, they expand, and you get this nice little toy. It's like a dinosaur. Or sometimes you have a little monkey or a little cat or other animal.
Yes, I actually have a collector's edition for Golden Girls, and you just drop them in the tub,
Wonderful.
and Blanche pops out, and Rose,
Yes.
and it's just fantastic.
It's wonderful. And so I got the idea from that. And I was like, the only thing that can make this bath time better is cheese. And so I decided I'm going to do the same thing. So I figured out how to make cheese into a little pill form. You drop it in water, and it expands into creating cheese. Now, this is, of course, a very artificial cheese, and so I didn't want it to taste artificial. That's the biggest complaint with like American cheese and Velveeta cheese and things like that. Some people think that they taste too artificial, and so I decided I need to combat that by adding real cheese organisms inside. So I've created living cheese to live inside of the pills.
This is, I mean, you're blowing my mind here,
Yes.
Boris. I didn't know, like, granted, I guess my schooling has just been different. So I always thought cheese was just like over curdled milk or something with some bacteria in it. So you're telling me
Yes.
that you now have living cheese. This cheese can have sex with other cheese and make more cheese babies.
That's how the pills are made.
So
They're
these pills
eggs.
are like,
They're eggs from my cheese children.
you have baby cheese eggs.
I have
And
baby cheese eggs.
This is just, you know what? You've heard it here on Yakking It Up with Chuck, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen. We have the creator, the inventor, Boris of Little Baby Cheese Eggs.
Yes.
Now, Boris, so my producers have given me some things, about you. Now, you weren't always a cheese geneticist. You used to, you had a completely different career back in the day.
Yes, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I was just going to let you elaborate.
I didn't know if you were going to
Oh, no, that's okay.
ask me about my position. I would be happy to tell you what I used to do. I'm not embarrassed by it at all. I used to be a stripper.
Yes. Well, that's why I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't know what the proper term was. I didn't know if you called it exotic dance. Stripper's fine,
No, I'm a stripper, and I'm proud of it. I used to be a stripper. It made me a lot of money. It gave me a lot of confidence in myself. But then eventually, I got to the point in my life where I was like, is this really who I am? And I had to look myself in the mirror, and I was like, yes, this kind of is who I am. But then I was taking a bath, saw the sponge thing, and decided, why not try cheese children?
So let me get this straight. You were literally a stripper up until the point you took a bath and had this epiphany to make
Yes.
cheese children.
Yes.
Journey.
You can call it enlightenment if you wish.
Well, epiphany, enlightenment, whatever, light
It's the
bulb.
same thing. It's just a different religion.
Oh yes. I see from my producers are telling me to look out into the audience. There's a bunch of hands just going up. This, by the way, for a first episode of Yakking It Up with Chuck, I got to tell you something, Boris. You're an interesting character.
I didn't know I was the first episode. I'm honored.
You are. Well, we had a bunch of other ones that we filmed. We just have never made it to air. This is the first one making it to air.
Well, wonderful.
Yeah, so yes, in the audience, you sir, right there with your hand up, you've got a question for Boris.
Oh, hi, Boris. I'm your biggest fan. Yes.
Well, hello there.
Oh yeah, where I'm from, I love the cheese. I do have a question though. So the inspiration for this cheese, is it something that runs deep in your culture?
Oh, the sponge animals. Yes, they run very deep in my culture. I grew up on them, of course. That's why I still use them today. They give me comfort in the bathtub. This is what we use to comfort our children since the dawn of time. I mean, even since our ancestors first grew up, they had sponge people in their bathtubs.
So yeah, now Boris, this just sort of brings me to some other questions. Now, I don't want to get more into your stripping unless you really want to talk about it. But I would just I'd like to. I've heard, and I'm excited. I'm excited for our commercial break to find out how open you are. But I was curious about you talked about your homeland, your motherland, and your ancestors and stuff. Now, you're not originally from this area, Des Moines here.
No, I'm not originally.
So yes, well, Yakking It Up with Chuck it's Des Moines, Iowa's #1 talk show. Now, I'm just curious as to what brought you here from your homeland.
Yes, Yugoslavia, of course.
Yes, well, the former Yugoslavia.
No, I'm from Yugoslavia before it changed.
Yeah, before it all broke up and stuff.
Yes, I left before Yugoslavia broke up, so I'm from Yugoslavia. If you would please not try to...
I'm not.
Destroy my heritage.
I'm not destroying anything. I will be honest with you. I've met a lot of people from Yugoslavia. I've just never heard anyone pronounce it the way you are. And so
it's Yugoslavia.
Yes, I just never heard anyone put so much emphasis on you go. It's almost like you're telling me you want me to go to
I do want you to go to Yugoslavia. It's Yugoslavia.
When you say it so often, it just doesn't even sound like a word anymore.
Well, I don't know if you know the history, but it's literally as a man named Yugo, and he owned a lavia. And so it's Yugoslavia.
Oh, well, that sounds sexual.
Yeah, it was. That's how he started the country. You don't, this is the whole point of the cheese children. The only way to create more cheese children is through sex. And that's the only way to create new nations is through sex.
Okay, so now let's get into these cheese children eggs again. So now we understand based on your descriptions that this cheese dip pills are literally offspring of other cheese dip pills.
Yes. Cool.
So, in order to get these cheese dip pills to dip into each other, is there any sort of techniques? I mean, is this an artificial insemination sort of thing, or are you playing them some Barry White? I mean, how are you getting these cheeses to intercheese with each other?
Well, I don't like to artificially inseminate. I feel like that. I don't play God.
It's like a Cheese Whiz sort of thing. You don't want to do that.
Yes, that's not what we want here. We want everything to be natural because the best cheese baby pills are naturally conceived. I mean, if we're forcing it, the same thing like chicken eggs, right? If you have a free range chicken, it makes better eggs than if you force the chickens into cages. So I have free range cheese people. I have a farm, and they just run around the wilderness. It's a tree farm. I have a lot of trees, woods. You might call it woods.
I would call it a forest or woods. That's just my term for it.
Well, I have a forest, and there's cheese people in the forest, and they run around. They're tiny little things. They all look like Sour Patch Kids. But please don't eat them. If you run into any Sour Patch Kid looking cheese people in the forest, please don't eat them. They're my procreators, so that they can create my product of cheese baby eggs that grow into other cheeses.
Man, you're kind of like some sort of lactose Willy Wonka here. Like you've just got this whole factory of little tiny people creating your treats for you.
Right.
Wow. So now let me ask you a question. Now, this is the woods. I'm assuming little Sour Patch looking cheese people.
Yes.
There must be some sort of natural predators. Do you have to worry about these sorts of things? Do you have defense systems set in, or is there cages? How's this working?
Honestly, the only real problem that I find is if it rains, and that's why the woods tend to help. But I do have to sometimes install little umbrellas around because, unfortunately, like I said, if the cheese baby eggs get into water, they expand into cheese. Well, if just one of these cheese people gets touched by enough water, they'll expand to grow well taller than a normal human, and they could potentially take over the world. And so I have to keep track of them and make sure they don't get too wet.
Well, that just we've got a question over here in the audience.
Oh, yes.
I see. You, ma'am, you've been raising your hand vigorously and feverishly. I don't want to forget you. You, ma'am, what's your question?
Yes, hi. I believe in ethical treatment of cheese. So what happens with the cheese pills that aren't bought?
The cheese pills that aren't bought, well, of course, they just turn into my cheese children. So, like, every pill that's not bought, we recycle it back to the farm, and they're raised by the cheese people that are still out here. So it's a community of cheese people, and I have to continue to, because of course cheese people grow old, they get moldy, and then they die. That's just the natural progression of cheeses. And so the cheese people, I have to keep resupplying the population. And so any cheese pills that don't get bought, don't worry, they're not getting thrown into the garbage. They're being brought back to my farm and growing more cheese people.
So now, Boris, I do.
Yes.
Now, I discussed some questions. There's some rumors out there
Ooh.
that since there has been a dip in purchase in consumerism over the last month, that
True.
you are accumulating and acquiring a little too many of these pills back in your farm, and these cheese people pills are they're beginning to organize into their own sort of pseudo governments. And now, how do you foresee this problem? And is this something that you need to take care of?
Well, I don't see this as a problem. I mean, they're cheese people. They have their rights, I mean, who am I to tell them that they don't have the right to organize or create governments or anything? I mean, I don't believe that I don't believe they're citizens of the United States of America. So there's nothing in the Constitution that says that cheese people are citizens. So I don't think that to be honest, I don't even know how much they can think for themselves. I know they run around like crazy and just create eggs like crazy. I mean, it's nice for business, but if they organize and they create a government of themselves, I think we should see them as a legitimate country and then treat them as if they were an ally, like Britain.
Now, the question would be is now since they're organized, wouldn't they? What if they just decided they didn't want to let you have their eggs to make your cheese dips no more?
Well, see,
I mean, you could have a whole string of cheese issues.
Yes, no, I mean I understand that, and don't get me wrong. I've spent a month on this. I've thought this pretty well through.
True.
So
yeah.
It's not like I was born yesterday.
We have another question out here in the audience. The old gentleman up in the front.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, hi. Like, I once spent a week out in like the woods with nothing but me and mushroom people. Don't ask. And I want to know, like, your cheese people thingies, and it sound like really groovy. Can they live in the wild, though? Like, can they live, like, in the wild?
That's a good question. I'm really glad that you asked me that. Of course, they can live in the wild. I mean, they eat things in the forest already. I mean, and speaking of mushroom people, their main food source is mushrooms. So they eat a lot of mushrooms, which gives them some different flavoring. But that's the fun thing about the cheese people, is whatever they eat, there's subtle hints of flavor go through into their children. And so every little pill is a little bit different. It's a fun surprise in every pill that everyone gets. So you may get little hints of mushroom here. You may get a little hint of pine nut there. You may get a little hint of berry or a little hint of I don't know, whatever else is in the forest. Bark. You might get some weird flavors.
There's bark in the forest.
Yes, there's lots of bark. So you never know what kind of hints. But yes, of course, they can live in the wild if they want. But don't worry, none of them are going to get out. I've created an electric system that goes around the forest. So if any cheese person goes into it goes too far into the system, and it alerts them that they are getting close to the electric fence. And if they touch the electric fence, a very specific amount of voltage goes through their body to disintegrate their mass, and so they just become little cheese blobs all around the edge of the forest.
So now, Boris, this is all fine and good and interesting. Also sounds quite dangerous, and it kind of seems like you might be generating some sort of cheese banana republic or something. I'm not really sure, but what's down the road for Mr. Boris? Now that you've you're sitting on top of the mountain of procreative cheese people construction dips. Now, what's next? What's next on the list, Boris? Have you had any other magical, enlightening epiphanies whilst taking a shower, or maybe a dip in a pond or something?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I've been so focused on my cheese children that I haven't had a chance to invent anything new recently. So there's nothing in the pipes, as it will, that's coming down the pipe.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yes, but I will say, I'll let you peek behind the curtain a little bit. I'm looking for some way to expand the cheese operation, because there's all different types of cheeses, right? So there's all different types of cheeses. So, of course, you can have cheeses that's a cheese dip. Right?
I was going to ask you about that. Do you
Yes.
have any? And now these are locally grown cheese people. Are there
Of course.
foreign cheese people? Are there Swiss cheese people?
Well, not yet, because I haven't brought them to those countries yet.
So this is all. So this is you. This is it. You're the
This is
only
it.
one.
This is all. I'm the only one who's been able to create living cheese people who can create eggs of cheese. And of course, the first product was you put it in water and it creates a cheese dip for you to be able to dip in.
Oh yes, I love cheese dips.
Yes, everyone does. And so
Broccoli,
I'm working on trying to, of course, I'm working on trying to, you know how the charcuterie boards that people love, you know, with the cheeses that you can use a cracker and you maybe cut a piece of cheese, a little bit more
cheese balls,
substantial cheese. Cheese balls with the almonds or whatever the hell they put on them. I don't know.
Those are nuts.
Nuts. Almonds are nuts.
Yes, balls and nuts.
Balls and nuts are what I've been thinking about a lot recently, is especially when the cheese people create more eggs. I think about them a lot.
Yes,
but
that's what I was thinking.
Little cheese
on
puffs.
The charcuterie board.
Yes. Now, but I was thinking, how could I make a way for cheese to be turned into more of a solid form instead of a
spread or a dip,
exactly, or even just like a piece of cheese and put it on a cracker.
Yeah, cut the cheese. Yeah.
Yes, I'm working on that right now. I'm actually experimenting with those cheese people that have expired, to try to figure out how I might be able to use their bodies to make into these types of cheeses.
It's kind of like some sort of like lactose reincarnation.
Exactly.
I'm
all about substantial farming. I'm in substantial. So that's what I'm thinking about.
Do you think now? So now we've gotten into the spiritual side of these little cheese baby eggs. Now, do you think that they kind of look at you? Because I know I would. If I was in their situation and this gentleman Boris, we'll call it, for example. I mean, you are Boris, but I will, for example, in this hypothetical.
Yeah.
If he would have created me, I would kind of look at him as some sort of deity or deific figure. Do you think these cheese people are sort of worshiping you and looking at you as some sort of like cheese god or something? Are you like Mr. Cheese to them?
Well, originally that's how it was. I mean, they looked at me as a god, but now we've gone a month. I mean, these cheese people, their expiration date is rather short, and then they procreate quite quickly. That's why I'm able to have such a stock to feed the world in a month.
That's good.
So the original cheese people that I created, they are long gone. They're long gone. They're unfortunately gone.
And by the way, I had one of the original ones. They were delicious.
Yes, I mean, they're fantastic. They were great year. Anyway, so now after several generations of cheese people, all they know is that their cheese parents created them. They don't think of me as a god anymore. And so, yes, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm trying to figure out what my role is in their life outside of just caretaker. I mean, should I be playing a more influential role in their life, or should I just take a step back and let them do whatever they want?
Well, this is just fantastic, and I wish we had more time, Boris, because, I just got so many other questions for you, but, we've got to take – the show's only so long, and, Boris, we would love to have you back, and if you'd like
please.
And I'd love to have you bring some of your little cheeselets. That's what I call them. I've loved them, the cheeselets, and you can use that, trademark it if you want for like the baby cheeses.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I just want, I just want free cheeselets for all my Christmas holiday parties with the balls and the nuts and stuff. That'd be just great. And I would I'd love to thank you, Boris. You're welcome back here on Yakking It Up with Chuck anytime. And thank you, audience questions. I'd just like to say, and with that, I would just, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll see you guys next week. End scene. That was fun.
That was weird.
That was very weird. Almost exactly 3 seconds into the show, it got weird. There wasn't a gradual weird cliff that we climbed. It was like weird, and then the ride all the way down. That was
well, so like whenever you started saying cheese, I was like, gosh, I gotta have a different type of cheese. And then my two thoughts were either like a sponge cheese pill, or like cheese jello, like a jello consistency of cheese. And so I decided to go for the pill form.
Congealed cheese. Well, that was great. That was great. So I think looking at our clock here, we've got time for maybe one more short form game if we want to do it. Chad, if you've got another particular favorite you want to do, or if anyone in the audience has suggested any of the short form games that we do that maybe we want to do. I mean, I've got some ideas in my head that we can do if you guys want.
Got lots of choices.
but we do have time. We could also, I don't know how active the chat has been, but we could always give advice, good, bad, worse. We could do two suggestions. We can do a scene 3 ways, whatever you want, Chad. You know what, Chad? We're going to put this in your hands.
We live your life for you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Heck, it's almost as if it's my birthday or something. Let's see.
Wait,
here.
is it Chad's birthday?
No, not today.
Okay, good.
Let's see here. Just looking through the old list here, and feel free in the chat if you want to suggest something. I am still keeping an eye on you, but I'm just going to look through my little list of games here, and let's see. You know what? Yeah, I'm always down. Are you guys good for letter sub?
Sure, yeah, I'll do letter sub.
Yeah.
I love letter sub, man. That's one of my favorites.
There you go. All right, so let's end on a strong.
As if that last scene wasn't confusing enough.
Yeah.
Let's do a confusing one with substituting letters.
I love being confused. This is true chaos tonight, guys. We are living up to our name.
True.
Okay, so if you're in the chat and you want to suggest something, go ahead and throw out. I already have a suggestion based on from something that happened earlier, so I got that.
Okay.
But go ahead and throw out 2 letters, just 2 letters, common
consonants.
2 consonants, common consonants, nothing weird like a Q or something
That they sound different from each other.
Exactly, gotta be different, gotta be sound differently and everything. Actually, you could throw in one consonant, I'll pick another. It's all good. But this is the time where if you have a suggestion for a consonant, press a button on the keyboard.
If you've got a letter you've been holding on to, you've been waiting to say this letter.
I hope they ask for a letter.
You've been training this letter for this moment, much like our cheese people from the last scene.
The Cheeselets.
You can't train cheese people. They're their own people.
Exactly. By the way, why am I hungry for that now? Okay. Let's see here. All right, looks like we have the letter P.
Okay.
Okay. And the letter S.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
How about we substitute the letter S with the letter P? Does that sound good?
So all S's are P's.
Yeah, so Saturday would be Patter Day.
Yes. Or yep.
Yep. Which also works. Either way. See, someone's done this game already. And what is our suggestion, Chad?
The suggestion is Scotch tape.
Wish I would have heard that before I decided which one we were going to do. All right.
I just now thought of that.
All right, Scotch tape. Scotch tape. All right, so we're substituting S's are now P's.
Yeah.
S's now become P's. So Scotch tape. And Scotch tape is our suggestion. So this is letter sub in 3, 2, and 1.
I'm excited for Crypt Mup.
I love Crypt Mup. It my favorite holiday. I go to sleep early the night before.
You got to.
Yeah, got to get good sleep. And I listen for Panta Claup up on the roof. You could if you lifted real careful, you can hear Panta Claup up there with hip reindeer.
And his play belt.
Oh man, they jingle in them play belt. It's it pound like holy angel pinging, just pinging pong of Cryptmit period.
Yep, Cryptmit period.
Yeah.
Steve, I hope that you got me pumping good dip gear.
I did. But my rapping job was bad. I didn't have tape or Picot's tape. I had to use gum on the wrapping paper.
You didn't even have Map King tape?
No, I had no tape whatever. What
about Pilver duct tape?
No tape, damn it! I had no tape. I used gum. My Bubba Lippet gum.
Bubba Lippet?
I put 2 pieces of bubble lip pip in my mouth, chewed that gum for 45 minutes.
Did you have enough saliva for that?
No, my saliva dried up. I had dry mouth, gum chewing, bubble lip pip, just to wrap your damn cryptmip presbip. You know what? I almost said procure it and put it in your pataki.
Well, I didn't realize that you tried so hard for me, Pative. I feel bad now that I dope thing to you.
Don't feel bad, Pemuel. You know, it's the holiday time and people get emotional. They feel feelings, and it's preppful. I get prepped out.
Yeah.
You know? Here.
Thank you for underpanding.
I underpand you as best I can. You know, best I can. We're best friends. And we are. We have been for years.
Yeah.
And see,
Pix teen year.
Pinch Pummer Pacool. Dude, Panta Claup is my new favorite thing to say. Panta Claup.
Panta Claup.
Oh, man.
Panta Claup was fun.
The moment Chris was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, Chris is going to replace all the P's with S's. And then the moment Chris said all the S's with P's, I was like, this is going to be good. This is going to be fun. This is going to be weird.
Yeah. Whatever. That was fun.
That was so good.
That was
Only one word. It took me a moment to figure out what it was. It was stressed out, I think.
Yeah,
stressed out. I was just like, oh, God, I have no idea what he just said.
Well, so when I was in my mind, it was going to be strepped out.
Oh, yeah.
And then I realized there's a S in the phone. I'm like, that was a bad choice.
you're like, Petrept. I'm just like, that was too many P's. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
All right, well, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. We have successfully completed a short or just an improv show. Thus, we did 3 games and a chat show. Which, by the way, I like yucking it up with Chuck. I think I would want to revisit that show again. That was fun.
That was fun.
Well, I forgot to go to commercial, which is fine. It was such an invigorating interview that we didn't. Maybe next time we'll get a famous celebrity and we can quiz them on their thing. Who knows? Chuck doesn't know. So thank you for watching, for your suggestions. Whoever was out there in Twitch or YouTube world to watch this ridiculousness happen live.
Yeah.
Instead of rewatching it on YouTube, because you get to be a part of it. And I want to thank you guys for your suggestions. Ty, you got any thoughts that you want to throw out there into the ether?
You know, follow us on Facebook, on Twitter. I don't know. Do we have an Instagram?
I think so. I know.
Yeah, follow us on stuff. You know, just follow us. Follow us in person.
If you see us, stalk us.
Yeah.
I could use a stalker or a patalker.
Yeah.
As an extrovert, I don't have stalkers. I have friends I haven't met yet.
See, Chad's always there for a good perspective. Also, if you guys would like to have any last minute ideas for a title for our show, maybe something you heard that you liked, or some funny theme or concept.
Yeah.
Type that in now. We're going to go back through and run through. If we don't have any suggestions because it's a quiet night, we'll make our own. I kind of like Cheeselets. I kind of like that idea for that. But if there's
Panta Claup.
Panta Claup is good. I like Panta Claup as well. So anyone out there, feel free to type them in. We'll select it, and that will be the title of this episode. This episode.
Kalamazoo wet whistle incident.
See, I wish that would have come back up during the show. I wish Kalamazoo wet whistle would have come back up during the show.
I may or may not have written a commercial about that.
Oh, did you? Oh, I would have wanted to see it. I forgot to go to commercial break, so my bad.
My favorite thing about that was at the beginning when Chad was making the joke. He's like, "My lawyers have told me I can't comment on it, but it was awesome." Like I could just like
so he comments on it.
Just like any other crime, be like, "Chad, you've been getting like." Arrested for money laundering. What laundering? What do you say? He's like, well, my lawyer says I can't, but it was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
So Chad, I'll turn it over to you for any announcements. Find the title of our show if we need to.
All right, so real quick,
Find
just
it.
as a quick reminder, we don't do this just on Thursday nights. We also do this on Saturday
True.
nights. Check us out on Saturday night, 7:30 Central,
Oh.
for Chaotic Good Improv Comedy One-Shots. We
Chris
do
is
it.
already headed to Saturday night right now. He's going
Absolutely.
to Saturday right now.
Chris is a time traveler. Not many people know this, but he is actually traveling to the future as I talk right now. As are we all. That's something to think about. Anyway, not a lot of activity. Although I will say, I do thank the Padre's wife for having some awesome suggestions during that last scene.
Woo.
Who is that? The Padre's wife?
The Padre's wife, yes, absolutely.
Is that?
Yeah.
The Padre's wife. Thank you for watching The Padre's wife.
Yeah, absolutely great. Go ahead and drop those title suggestions in there. If not, I actually myself I wrote down Panta Claup prepped out.
That's not going to be the title. That's not going to be the title. I promise you.
And let's see, and also the Cheeselets.
Cheeselets. I like Cheeselets. I like Panta Claup and Cheeselets. What's your favorite, Ty? It's
I'm pretty. I'm leaning towards Panta Claup.
Panta Claup works for me.
Claup.
It's
It rolls
Christmas
off
in
the tongue.
July. Yeah, Panta Claup.
Cheeselet sounds a little bit too much like Cheez-Its. So
Yeah, but they're Cheeselets.
they're live. They're alive.
They're little cheeses. They're
They
little
have
Cheeselets. Like
emotions and-
if cheese were to have babies, they would have Cheeselets.
I'll be
Right.
honest, I want to see this as a Saturday morning cartoon.
The Cheeselets.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the Smurfs, but better.
Boris is the Gargamel character.
Yeah,
He created them.
right.
And the Cheeselets. We are the Cheeselets. We already came a theme song. We've got it.
Right
Brought
there.
to you by
It's
the
just 3
Wisconsin
words.
Dairy Foundation.
It's the whole. Yeah, like the opening, like a 5-minute opening of the show, and then
We are the Cheeselets.
And then just
Boom!
continue
Right
the
into the right into the up. Right into the up. Yeah.
Still
All
a
right.
better backstory than the Snorks, but anyway.
The Snorks. I liked the Snorks, but it was a weird backstory. You are right.
Alrighty, so with Panta Claup and the Cheeselet sounds like a band almost. We can just do that.
Sure.
I
We
like
can do
it.
that.
Merge them.
Yep. Merge them.
Merge 'em.
All right, so that's it. Panta Claup and the Cheeselets. I want to thank everyone. What was it? The Padre's wife? Is this?
Yes.
Is this someone new? I don't recognize that name. The
Oh
Padre's
no,
wife.
yeah, they've been following us a while, so.
Oh, have they? Okay, that's just
Welcome
me.
back.
I never get to see the chat, so I'm unfamiliar with everyone that's there. But thank you for watching the Padre's wife, and I hope the Padre's doing well. I hope that he refers to himself as the Padre's wife's husband or whatever. I'm not really sure. But thank you for watching. I don't know. That would be funny if he's the Padre and this other person was like the baker. It's like the Padre's wife and the baker's husband. Oh, they're married together. Oh, that's great. Why don't they just call themselves the Joneses? But who knows?
And the corner with the candlestick, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. The butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, But thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back Saturday, 7:30. Do we have any raids or anything planned, Chad? I don't think we do for today.
Didn't have one in the hopper. Sorry about that.
Doesn't see if we don't have it may not be worth it doing. But thank you, Ty, for once again improvising with me during a show that
Always
we
love
just making up. We didn't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, who
We
knows?
just do it. We will try and revisit our long form that we did a while back with the animal foot wizardry, which I think we need to
We'll figure
revisit
something
that
out.
some maybe a podcast or something. We'll do
Something.
that. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful